Do you want to work in sports? Then you came to the right place. Women Changing the Game is bringing you an inside look at what it takes to be a leader in this industry as we hear from the top leaders across all fields. We're helping you girl boss your way through game day. Changing the game near you. Brought to you by Sports Girls Club. I'm your host, MaryKate Siegel, and this is Women Changing the Game. Women Changing the Game. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Women Changing the Game. I'm here with a very special woman changing the game in the world of sports today. She is the Media and Community Relations Manager for the PWHL Boston Fleet. Some of her previous experience entails working with the New England Patriots, Cross Sports and Entertainment, Boston Renegades, and more. Please welcome Faith Worrell.
Hi, and happy to be here.
Did I say
That was great. That was perfect. That was perfect. You got it exactly right.
Let me say it one more time.
Yeah, you're good.
Please welcome Faith Worrell.
Yes. Good job.
Thanks for
Happy
coming
to be
on.
here.
Thanks for coming on, Faith.
Of course.
So excited to talk with you today. We're having a great day here at U Boston.
Really are.
I've been working with some of the PWHL players, the Fleet players, and it's been really cool. So it's fun to see you in your element as well. I feel like I've seen you at a few different Sports Girls Club events as well, and it's been super cool just to see you doing your thing and all the work you do with the team and being with a new team too. What's kind of a day in the life like for you as media and community relations manager? I know every day is probably different, but overall kind of just of what you do in your job.
Yeah, so I help set up events like today, getting players to things, getting coaches to events. I help set up any interviews, so anything that you're seeing on TV, on broadcast, or a story in the paper, story online, and those quotes that you're seeing, I'm helping facilitate those, which I love. It's always nice to see those come to fruition and watch those, or see those stories come out. And then also the community relations side, like obviously the PWHL is new, and so we're kind of developing that process of what does our community relations look like, what events are we going to, what youth practices are we going to, things like that. So it's a lot of, I'm going to say, building the boat while we're sailing, right? Because you're kind of building it as we go, but I help organize basically getting, any of our players or coaches or staff to events. It's coordinating all those events.
That must be pretty fun.
It is.
We'll talk about the building side of it too, but I want to talk about kind of the fun side of it, I would say, and the event side and stuff. What are those favorite events that you've done? Things like today or that, anything really. It doesn't have to be an event, just your favorite moment of being part of this new league and this new team, the Fleet. What have been those cool movements where you're like, okay, this is worth it, this is awesome, and I love my job kind of moments?
I think the first one that comes to mind is we had a neutral site game in Detroit last year, which felt like our version of the Super Bowl, the Stanley Cup final. It felt like we were, it was so much effort put into it, and there was so much planning. Like the Red Wings were amazing at welcoming us and having us in their facility, and also doing interviews with us. And they had a Red Wings game the night before, and they got us on the broadcast, on the radio interview. Like there was so many opportunities, and that felt like I was earning gray hairs planning it, because there was so much involved, and it was just everything was moving so fast. But that set the U.S. attendance record for the PWHL at 13,700 and something, and to be standing behind the bench for one of the broadcast interviews and to hear that crowd and just see kind of all of that hard work, and not that one broadcast interview gets you there, but all of those little things, all those little exposures, and having known that all of the work that was put into that game, and seeing fans just show up and enjoy it. That's what you love about sports, is you want to be able to go and enjoy it and see high quality, competition. And it went to a shootout and we won. So I think we definitely gave the fans a good game, and just the environment was amazing. And, I always love seeing different youth hockey, girls hockey groups being out there. They always wear their jerseys. So you can spot rows of pink and yellow and whatever their color is. And I think that's really exciting too, because a lot of the community work that we do is go to youth practices. And so it's bringing our players out, and even if we're there for an hour, we still see comments on social media or get emails saying just how much it meant to have that representation there. And I think that all kind of came to fruition in Detroit. And I never thought I would say I love visiting Detroit the most out of anything, but it really was such a special moment.
Yeah, wow, that must have been, and you talked about kind of like earning those gray hairs and like
Yeah.
in the process of it, but I feel like that kind of makes it all worth it and you sit back and you really
Yeah.
enjoy it even more,
Yeah.
knowing the hard work like you talked about that you put into those moments. And then they come to fruition and
Yeah.
yeah, you get to kind of sit back and go, okay, this is why I do it.
Yeah, you just
And this
enjoy
is
it.
why I
Yes.
die every day at work and like put in all my time. But yeah,
Yeah.
well, that's awesome. Have there been like any like really cool moments of like you talked about the younger fans being there that really stood out to you where you were like, this was just like a really cool fan moment of a younger girl experiencing this movie.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's so many. Every game, we talk a lot about the environment at our games, and I feel like we are, a professional hockey team, but I also think it's a very family friendly environment. If you
Yeah.
look around and there's just so many girls with face paint and jerseys and signs, and I think the really cool ones are like the ones that say like I'm gonna be in the PWHL in 2046
Love
or
that.
whatever, and it's
Isn't it
the
crazy? Like that makes me feel really old.
yeah.
Like 46. I'm like,
Yeah,
whoa.
but like to see that they're looking forward to connecting with it, and you see so
Yeah.
many signs and so many things. And I think the cute part about our fans is a lot of people made friendship bracelets, and so
Oh,
seeing
yeah.
those like handfuls and piles of custom bracelets for every single player, every single coach, like I think it's just so personable, and being able to connect with those fans has meant a lot. I think to the women on the team, who were once those young girls looking to look up to somebody, and now they have this thing to look up to. And I think it's all of those little moments combined where you're like, sure, maybe, we're putting in all these hours and there's a lot of work involved, but it's just like, you think about that girl that's so excited that she gets to go to a PWHL game that night and making that experience for her the best. But also for little boys too. Like we obviously, we have our bench in the little tunnel, and there's always fans that reach over and try to get stuff. And I thought it was really cute because I remember there was one little boy that was like trying to reach more than the girls. He was like, I want to get Hillary
That's
Knight's autograph.
awesome.
And, obviously we're a women's sports team and we do cater to that. But at the
Yeah.
same time, it's all little kids
Yeah.
should be able to do that. Same as all
Totally.
of us who grew up watching the NHL and the NFL and all of those things. It's like, you want little boys to be able to enjoy it too. And to see him be just as excited for Hillary Knight or, whoever it is,
Right.
that's also exciting.
That makes it super cool too to also let the little boys as well know, like it
Yeah.
can be both.
Yeah. And you can
You
come to a
know,
game and
and
just enjoy it because it's good
yeah,
hockey.
yeah. Well, I love that. That's such a fun, cool story. Well, I want to talk about a little bit about building. We
Yeah.
touched on before, and the challenges that kind of come with that.
Yeah.
Being working for a new team, a new league. I'm sure there's some roadblocks you may face. I mean, anything in sports, but
Yeah.
obviously it's a little bit more difficult working for a
Right
new
there.
league. I would say there's no blueprint in front of you.
Yeah.
How you kind of take that on? What are the challenges that you face? Because a lot of the time we talk about the highlight reel of working in sports and how great it is and those great moments, but
Yeah.
what are those hard moments that you've been
I
through so
mean,
far?
I think, another thing is I'm young too. Like I'm only 24, so it's a lot of the professional world feels like it's new every day. Even if, back to when I was working with Patriots to now, like you're constantly learning, constantly growing, and being young. I think you can just kind of use that to your advantage in the sense of like, you are learning and there's going to be mistakes and you're going to do things wrong. And sometimes like, you're going to really think this is the right way to go and like, you're just going to learn from it. But I think the biggest thing is to lean on people who have been there. And, I had great mentors, with the Patriots, and I had great mentors from school that like, there are plenty of times where I'm just like, I don't know what to do. Like, what do I do? Like, I haven't faced this before. I don't know how to handle this. Like, can you
And
just
ask for help.
help? Yeah. And I think not being ashamed to ask for help is huge. And I know we say that a lot in this industry, but like, it really does come down to being able to recognize like, you have everything it takes to get the goal that you want, but
Yeah.
sometimes you just need a little bit of help with the roadmap, right? And I do think the league, as we're building everything and it's so new and it's so young, I do think that we do have incredible leadership, especially at the league level. And our VP of communications, Mandy Gutman, is like my lifeline. Anytime something comes up that I don't know how to navigate or it's new and everything feels new in this league, I can reach out to her and she always kind of gives that, you know, just wisdom of advice. She's worked in women's sports for forever. And I think that's just having those resources in the league, but also from previous jobs
Yeah.
is helpful because I'm not going to pretend like I know what I'm doing all the time.
Yeah,
So
and that's
yeah,
nice to be transparent about that because a lot of people in this world think that they have to know like exactly what's
yeah,
going on. And I like that you said like it's okay to ask for help and
yeah,
to ask those questions and want to learn and grow more. And
yeah,
it's great that you have people who you can look up to. And even like you said, the vice president or whatever of
yep,
communications, the fact that you can go to her and ask questions just shows speaks volumes about the PWHL, but the fleet in general as well, and
yeah,
just the other teams you worked for as well. I think that's really nice. You have those people, and I
yeah,
highly recommend that to everyone wanting to work
yeah.
in sports. To just kind of find those people you can go to and stick with them, and then don't be afraid to go to them for help.
Exactly. And I think, obviously we talk a lot about networking in the league and like you want to have as many connections, as many, you never know what conversation is going to help you later down the road. But, same with friends, like you only have a select few that are your go-tos. And it's like, these are the people that you trust in your life and you're like, hey, I'm in a tough spot or I have a tough decision to make, or it's just a new experience. Like we recently announced Gigi Marvin's retirement and the league is obviously now navigating retirement announcements because after year one, not every player is coming back, and some players, kind of tied the ribbon on their career in the PWHL and are kind of done. And so, even just navigating what the best way is to honor someone like that, an
Yeah.
Olympian, national champion, like all those things. I think it's just everything's new, and so everything is a learning opportunity, but also recognizing like you I have what it takes to get it done. And I
Yeah.
know that like that's something that everyone struggles with self-doubt or not believing in themselves. But I think the biggest thing that I try to do is to remind myself like I wouldn't be here if I didn't earn it and I
Yeah,
don't deserve it.
totally.
And when I'm unsure, like that's when I reach out to people.
Yeah, I think that's really important. And we talked a little bit about like, having that confidence too. What advice would you have for younger girls who want to be in your job? I know you touched on a lot of advice right there, but
Yeah.
like your main piece that you would say if a girl came up to you today and was like, how do I get your job? Like, what do I do? Like, obviously they, work for that position, but what would you say to help them out to kind of get to where you're at now?
Yeah, I think I would say my biggest advice is work hard at your dream. Like I think a lot of people kind of expect that since sports is so fun and there's so many teams and so many like getting a job in sports could be easy or you could kind of cut corners. And I just don't think I would be where I am today. If, in college I worked in the student newspaper. I worked with the athletic department. Not really paid jobs, and there were plenty of times where my friends were going out or they were going to the game as a fan, and I was working it. And I don't think, you should make your life all work, but I do think when you recognize like where you can put in extra work to set yourself above people, it's like that's when you lean into it and you do make some of those sacrifices. But at the same time, the games that I got to photograph versus being a fan, like I appreciate the ones that I photographed a lot more than just the ones that I was a fan at because it's something special and it's unique. And so I think the reality that it's not going to be given to you. Like you do have to really earn it, but also giving yourself the grace of taking a step back and realizing what you have accomplished.
Yeah.
Even if it is something in high school, it's something in college. Like every little thing is a building block. And I think I probably up until this job didn't do that justice, taking a step back and being like actually proud of myself.
Yes.
Be like, you know what? Like
Yeah,
I
you
have put
need
in the
to
work
do
to get
that.
here. And so yeah, I think just doing every little extra thing that feels like it's moving you in the right direction. And, I've had plenty of internships, so far and realizing, okay, that's not what I want to do. We're going to pivot this way.
It
And then we're going
helps.
to pivot this way. But realizing that, the skills that I learned as a communications intern Patriots or with the student newspaper, like all of those things added up in the skill sets that I needed today. And
Yeah.
so I think that hard work does pay off and it will
Completely.
pay off.
Yeah, and sometimes you do have to make those sacrifices. And I like how you said that you need to like take it in too and
Yeah.
kind of have a moment to be like, okay, I did that or I made it this far. And I feel like that is motivation to keep going. And that's what kind of
Exactly.
can keep you moving forward is to say, like, all right, this is where I wanted to be maybe a year ago when I got here. So
Yeah.
I can keep doing that. So I think that's so important, especially as women. I feel like we try not to like give too much credit to ourselves, and like we need
Yeah.
to start focusing more on like, yes, giving ourselves the credit and being proud of ourselves. So I appreciate you said that as well. Well, thank you, Faith. I want to ask you just one more question. What you're most excited about with the upcoming season? Today was the
Oh my
schedule
gosh.
release, so like,
Yeah.
what's going on? What are you most excited to see?
I'm just excited to be back at the rink. Like
Yeah.
I miss being, just around the team, around the staff. Like,
Yeah.
I think just the traveling is so schedule's so packed, and having worked previously in the NFL where it's one game a week, it's almost like you just have this time to get ready. And in hockey, it's just like
Go,
next
go,
thing.
go.
And I think it's so much fun, and there's so many good memories to be made. And obviously, like, I'm a Boston sports fan, so I'm very excited to host Minnesota in the first game. Like, that's just
Yeah.
exciting, and I think our fans are gonna love it. And I think a lot of our roster is coming back. We've added a lot of good people in free agency and in the draft, and so I think talent wise, personality wise, it's a great group, and so
Yeah.
I'm just ready to get back to it.
I'm so excited for the season.
Yeah.
I can't wait to like not only watch the players but watch you too, like
See
from
you running
behind the
around.
scenes. I'm gonna be looking for you on
Yeah.
the TV shots.
It's usually me following somebody with a Sharpie, or I need to connect
That's
them with
my
it.
favorite part to watch, like the women in sports behind the scenes.
Yeah.
I'm like, I know her.
Yeah.
And she's doing her job well. I feel bad for her. She's probably having a stressful night, but
It's fine. Well, and I really
So-
appreciate, you having me on here. Like,
Yeah.
it's crazy that 'cause we both have a background in craft sports and entertainment, and like
Yes.
having gone from working events there and just passing each other in the hallway to this. Like, I think, you've come a long
Yeah.
way in your career, and I think it's awesome that the world's kind of collided. Like,
Yeah, no, completely. I know it's so much different too to see you like in this space, but I love it. I feel like we're both just really passionate about what we're doing right now, so it's awesome to see.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Faith, for coming on.
Thank you.
It's been awesome. Like I said, I can't wait for the season. So appreciate it, and we'll see you next time on Women Changing the Game.
Go Fleet.
Go Fleet.